All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Banter Boys. We're looking a little light tonight with no Zach or no Benny. We have our guy Jono and our guy Logan. Plenty of topics to cover today. Winners and losers as usual. Moving into some teams stumbling down the table, some moving up the table, and then African Cup of Nations is coming up, so plenty to talk about. But without further ado, let's get into winners and losers. Who would like to start, Jono?
Yeah, I can start. And I would also like to give a little shout out to our boy Jake Zek, who's a little down bad at the moment. Not moving around as much these days as some would say. Will knock in training as that has sidelined him for a good 8 months. So Zek, your thoughts you're in our prayers, and we hope you recover soon. Not
Nah,
sure why you're not on
he's
today. Don't know where you are, but we'll
he's
address that.
he's on the Aaron Rodgers trajectory. He'll be back.
Yeah,
He'll be back quick.
there's no other way. But yeah, to go into my winner, actually, this one's going to be kind of a shocker to some, I feel like. Up the cherries, Bournemouth are going to be my winners. Out of the last 8, I'm looking at right now, they've won 6, tied 1, lost 1. I mean, that has elevated them out of the relegation battle. They've been personally haven't watched too many of their games, so I'm being completely honest with you. But some good results down the line. Yeah, so that they're going to be my winner of the week, and my losers. Brentford lost the last 5. Does not look good for them. I think they're still above Everton. Unfortunately, don't quote me on that, but I think that's correct.
Yeah.
But they are indeed still above Everton. But that being said, they've lost 5 straight. So they would have to be my loser of the week.
That's fair. Speaking of Everton, I can just continue with the loser of the week. I'm going to have to go with them. I've tried my best to stay as positive and keep the light at the end of the tunnel for them, but that light is getting dimmer, I think. And I know Benny is feeling that for sure, all the way in Switzerland.
Yes.
They're sitting 17th right now. They've lost the last 3. They're out of form. The momentum has gone from the 10-point deduction. I don't know what they need next, if they need some help in January for a new striker, because Beto has not been that guy since he's been there. I don't really know how to fix their situation at this point. It's not looking too good for them. And then keeping it in Merseyside, I have to go with the boys in red for my winner of the week. Finally top of the table with no one else tied with us. 45 points, Villa second on 42. It's a great feeling going into the new year. Haven't lost in I don't even know how long. Finding good form. But however, we do have Salah leaving soon, which I'm sure we're going to talk about here shortly. But Liverpool winners of the week for sure.
Love it, and I love we all have different picks this week, which I feel like is kind of crazy. My winner, I'm gonna go with Wolves. Another team that I think I really thought they might be in a relegation scrap this year. I thought they were really going to struggle, and they've just been in form lately. They're tied with Chelsea. I don't think anyone would have predicted that. But that also, I mean, they're tied with Chelsea in 11th. So I don't know. But compared to being in a relegation battle, I mean, they're doing great. They got some good players, and yeah, it's cool to see. There's a lot of mid-table teams that are like the middle of the pack right now is really tight, and it's good for the league. So then my loser got to be Arsenal. Dropped 2 in a row.
Yep.
Really thought this was the year. I still think it could be, but the signs don't look good right now. But we'll see. And from there, let's just talk about it more generally. Like, what do you guys think about Arsenal's chances now? They've shown some vulnerability, and like they could still be fine, but are these like real cracks in the squad that are showing now?
Potentially. I think that they're still playing good football and they're bossing games. It's the execution for them. I think Saka's fallen off slightly. We talked about him a lot recently. And he's just not finishing. He's not been that killer instinct that we've seen in the past with him. Still love him, great player, and he creates many opportunities, but an opportunity is only as good as an opportunity unless you put it in the goal, and that's just not happening for them. Do I think that's going to be a reflection of the rest of their season? No, I still think they're going to push. I think they're going to see the same things happen to City in the last few weeks. They've kind of fallen off, but getting back on their pedestal again. And I'm sure Arsenal, being a professional football team that they are, they'll do the same thing, and they'll be right back where they rightfully so should be in the top 2 or 3 again soon, and pushing Liverpool closer to the end of the season. But yeah, I think that we're just seeing a kind of a lapse. We get into that busy time of year. There's lots of fixtures throughout December and January. And so they need to capitalize. This is their key time for them, especially with other teams in Champions League and things. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks with Arsenal.
Yeah, I just also think it just shows you how amazing the Prem is this year. Like literally anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. And I don't think everyone's going to be like, oh, they're bottling it again. It's all downhill. I don't think so. Not yet. What I've talked about in past podcasts is like champions win these type of games, the close ones, the ugly ones that just happen to get 1-0 or somehow 2-1 kind of thing, And before, honestly, they were getting those results. They were getting those tight wins and stuff like that. So just seeing these last two, I think it's 3 in the last 5, though, for being honest, right? Is it 3 losses in the last 5, I think?
Arsenal, 3 in the last 5, you are correct.
Last 5, and a tie to United, right?
Yep.
So that's a lot of points dropped there. But to say that they're only, 5 points still back of Liverpool, I mean, they dropped a lot of points to still be in this position. So I'm not giving up hope yet. If I was an Arsenal fan and I heard the name Kevin De Bruyne, though, coming back, I would be a little concerned.
See, that's my big thing, though. I don't think they need to worry about other teams. Like Birchie bringing up Saka, like, has that man just played too many games in the past, 2-3 seasons? Like, they have relied on that man so heavily, and he's so young. Like, kind of similar. Martinelli's had a lot of games. Like, are they just kind of running out of gas? And then the Champions League thing, like, if they make it to the next round in the Champions League, I could kind of see them just like, all right, let's coast for like a 3rd and 4th, rest our guys, and try to win the Champions League. So I just don't know if they have the depth or the goals. If they got Ivan Toney in January, maybe, but I just don't see the goals and the fitness of the squad. Like, I don't know.
Like
I just don't know if they can take it. Like, they ran out of gas last season, and they didn't have Champions League, and they went out of the Europa League pretty early. So I don't know. It worries me a bit for them.
That's a good point. I mean, they're obviously no Man City, right? They're not going for the treble. Maybe it's time to pick it. What are you going for? What are the priorities here? Is it the Prem, or are we going for Champions League? I mean, I don't know if we're at that point yet where we have to start really doing it, but it could be sooner than we think.
Well, and I would love to know, any Arsenal fans, let us know. But as an Arsenal fan, would you rather, if you can only win one this season, would you rather win the Champions League or the Premier League? I really don't know the answer to that.
If you'd rather win the Champions League but finish
4th, yeah,
4-6. I don't know. I mean,
I think surely they'd take it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, for sure. But
take Champions League, you're saying?
Yeah, they haven't even been in it in 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who do they draw for Champions League?
I think they got a pretty good draw.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
One Google search away from finding this answer.
Porto.
Yeah, that's not bad. They can win that
fixture for sure.
Yeah, that's not bad. But that's a good point, Logie. That's a good point. Time's ticking.
Yeah, I just don't know if they have the squad to try to make a true run at both.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe with a striker in January, that might push them to the next level where they need to be. And speaking of strikers and other things going on, we need to talk a little bit about Mo Salah leaving Liverpool for the next few months. He's really our guy. He has been our guy for many seasons. And now we're finally made to the top of the league and he's leaving us for 2 months, potentially up to 2 months. That's devastating news if you're a Liverpool fan, of course. If you look at all of our goals, the amount of goals and the important games that he scored, it's always him. The amount,
14.
yeah. So,
14 assists.
yeah. And then so that leaves me with looking at the rest of the squad, like Darwin Núñez. The man is very much just hit or miss, mostly miss, if we're being completely honest. I hate that I have to say that, but I'm going to be honest. And he just has not stepped up to the plate. He misses way too many opportunities. I think I saw a stat saying that he's missed more what should be goals than any other striker in the Premier League this season. Which is really tough to hear, especially with respect. I know people like Nicholas Jackson.
Are you talking about missed chances right now? Because
it must be a tight race between those two.
It's got to be close.
I'm about to say, yeah. If you want to open that door, Burbs, we can. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be tough. And like I say, you've got people like De Bruyne coming back into the league now with Haaland ready to go. I'm sure that's a partnership that's going to want to pounce on Salah being missing. So I'm a little nervous right now knowing that's ahead of us.
Are you guys losing anyone else besides Salah?
I believe he's our only guy.
How did you guys survive without Salah and Mane back in the day? How'd y'all do it?
I don't think they won. I don't think they won a league during a year that was AFCON. Because AFCON's like every 2 years, maybe, or it's either every 2 or every 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it was Salah and Mane out, that was tough.
I
don't know. I think, like, I am worried about the goals. I don't know if there's going to be enough goals to, like, keep up this pace. But also, I wonder if this is going to, like, one, probably not going to happen, but somehow, like, get Darwin going. Like, maybe he wants the responsibility. I don't really see that happening, but who knows? It could happen. Or Van Dijk could just take over and they could just start winning games 1-0. So they'll be able to find a goal if they're not conceding. But I don't know. It's just Salah, like, strikes fear into opponents. Like, Salah's on the right. You're going to have to deal with that. It's going to open up other things. Now it's going to, like, no offense to Diego Jota, but, like, that doesn't strike fear into a left back necessarily, because, like, he's just gonna get in the box and dive, or just kidding. That was a pen. That was a pen. I'm sorry, but he did kind of dive. It was a little soft.
He made the most of it for sure.
That was absolutely crazy. That was crazy to me.
He could have just beat in the goal. He could have.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't just, like, take 2 steps and pass it in, but whatever. But, like, he's a good player, but it's different. So I don't know. And January, like, the nice thing is you have January. You could buy someone. Not going to buy someone that caliber, but who knows?
Yeah. No, all well and true. I think our last big signing in January might have been Virgil van Dijk, which was a good one. If we could do another one like that, that would be great. But
honestly, like John mentioned Bournemouth earlier, if you need goals, Dominic Solanke, the return. Like, that's not an awful shout, but I don't know. I don't know if he, like, would want to come back. I don't know if he can do it at a big club.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. Lots of his goals are like they're kind of strikers' goals, kind of like Haaland. He's just in the box, greedy.
Yeah,
finishing crosses.
He's got a nose for it. Yeah.
Get Lewis and Joe down the wing, cross the ball into him. He might.
Yeah, Trent's service into Solanke, like,
be a good. That's a good shout, Logan. I'm excited.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tweet at Jurgen. I'm gonna tell him. Gonna have to.
But also that man Trent has been incredible.
Yes.
Thank goodness for inverting fullbacks, because his career was on the decline.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna have to be called up as an England midfielder at this point.
Still can't defend.
Yeah.
Man, he could whip a ball and, like, he's probably. I mean, if not the best, he's top 2 in the Prem. Just a whipping ball, and he has to be.
Yeah, range of passing. He is, like.
Who else could you compare him to?
Well, I was going to go on to our next subject, and that leads us nicely with Kevin De Bruyne. He would be the person that I would say would be next, if
Oh,
not
yeah, for sure.
right there alongside Trent. And so with that, we have Man City back on the hunt, back in form. Kevin De Bruyne coming back. What's your guys' takes? Where do you think City are going to go in the next few weeks?
I think City's right where they want to be. It's kind of where they were last season. I think they just kind of wait for their chance to go on a run of 12 in a row, and that wins them the league. But and like De Bruyne coming back is great. They definitely need Haaland back too. But you still got Foden and Bernardo Silva playing really well. Like I do think they might need to sign a holding mid in Jan to really like solidify things. Because if Rodri keeps on going out, when Rodri doesn't play, they're not
the same.
Not the same, yeah. But I think they're right where they want to be. I know Bellini's at home licking his lips. I think they could still do it.
They are very scary, especially with that man Kevin in the lineup for sure. Yeah, like Logan said, I could see him go for a long run, and I think they got an easy Champions League draw as well. I think they got
Leipzig, I think.
Oh, was it Leipzig?
Or no, Real Madrid got Leipzig.
Copenhagen. I have it in front of me.
Hey, Copenhagen's good, man. Copenhagen's good.
Yeah, no disrespect to Copenhagen.
They beat United.
No disrespect, but I mean, we're talking the big dogs here.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to reel off their next fixtures. Speaking of City going on a streak, so they have Newcastle out
3 points.
Burnley
3 points.
Brentford
3 points.
Everton
3 points.
Chelsea
3 points.
Bournemouth
3 points.
And United. That's
1 point. Wait, at Old Trafford.
At home at the Etihad.
Probably 3 points. Gotta be
so that takes them to March 2nd. That's their fixtures. Then they play Liverpool.
Oh, of course you'd stop there, Birch. Okay.
Well, yeah, because
Well, that could be a defining game. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and they have the 3 points in hand, or the game in hand, sorry, which is an extra 3 points they could push back, which brings them up to second place again. So, I think you're right, Logs. I think City are exactly where they want to be at the right time with the right players. They're not losing anybody. Everything's kind of primed for them to do one of their crazy little streaks that they go on. So,
yeah.
And just real quick, from prediction side of things, do you guys think De Bruyne will be back at his best, or do you think injuries, aging? Do you think he's kind of past his peak? Like, can he get back to it? I'm a little concerned, honestly. Like, I think it's maybe time for Foden. Like, I don't know if De Bruyne can be. He'll still be amazing, but I don't know if he'll be like back at his peak.
Jono, I see you shaking your head.
That man's different, bro. To say that man's going to drop off to like a substantial.
I don't see a drop off, but just like not what he was.
I mean, he might not be playing every game. He might be playing a good, 70, 75 minutes a game, and then maybe even 60 one game, and then 90. Like, he'll probably be in spurts of that. But I'm going to be absolutely shocked if the man doesn't have 10 assists by the end of the year. I'll be shocked.
I'd agree with that. I think that he's primed again because of the players that he has around him. If he can't load, Phil Foden can. Somebody else can pick it up. He can still whip balls to Haaland. You don't have to run around crazy to whip balls to him. He can be anywhere. Just lob it in the box. He's 6'5". He'll get there. I think he's going to be fine. I do think that Jono's right, and he'll get reduced minutes or maybe miss games that you would expect him to be playing in. Maybe not play every one of those fixtures I just read out. He might play 80, 75% of them. But again, that just goes to show the depth that City have, and exactly why teams like Arsenal and Tottenham have been having the struggles that they have. And so, again, going on with Tottenham, we have can they survive without Son? Very similar subjects to previous.
Yeah, going to the Asian Cup. I mean, Richie's been scoring. Richarlison's been scoring, but I think Son's been creating a lot of that.
Yeah, who's passing the ball? Yeah.
Is Madison close to coming back? Because that would be the only thing that would give them any hope.
He
is
has
if
to
he
be.
was close.
I saw James Madison today at the Alexandra Palace in London watching the World Darts Final today.
Really?
He looks pretty happy. Maybe that's a sign. He's made a public appearance. He's ready to go again. I don't know. But Tottenham have shown that without him, when he got injured, I know they had a few others too, but he was a key miss for them. And before, if we went back to that period of time in the Premier League, he was the best player, the most informed player. Second on that team would have been Son. And now you're going to be missing that guy. What's the impact that's going to be? I think it's going to be the same. I think you're missing out on 5-6 goals in the next few months from him, many more assists. James Madison's going to have to come back in and carry that load if he does come back in time. If not, I don't know if Richarlison is the guy to pick that up for the team. I don't know if there's anyone else that can.
Yeah, I will say, well, first I want to address the fact that you said that darts competition because that is a goal of mine to go see that one day. I would like to go to that event. Have you seen videos of that? Have you? Absolutely just crazy.
I watched the entire darts tournament live. I bought the subscription for it. The final was today. There was a 16-year-old in the final today and lost, but he made it a very close game.
That's crazy.
16 years old, and he won himself £200,000 today.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, give him a clap for that. Sporting event in its own right there. That's a sporting event in its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to poor man's sport. Spurs, not a top six, not in the top six because it's only top five. Yeah, Son is on pace for his best season ever. Right now, on pace. He has 12 goals, 5 assists.
Wow.
His best season, he was at 23 goals, 7 assists. I mean, the man's buzzing.
He is.
Spurs are going to find it hard to score goals without him. They really are. He's one of those guys, too, that's like, you have to know where he is at all times. You know? Like, that's what concerns me about Spurs' attacking force in the next month or two, whatever it is. Like, he's a big piece.
Yeah. Well, and surely that's another situation where, like, that almost forces them into buying in January.
Yeah.
But like, how many players are there that are gonna contribute enough to make it worth it?
Yeah.
Because it's probably gonna be a little pricey. I mean, Dominic Solanke at Spurs wouldn't even be a bad shout. I think a lot's gonna be dependent too on like where Tony goes and if Tony goes. Because that's like the big one everyone wants. And if like Brentford's like, no, we're not selling, or if he goes to Arsenal, then like Spurs are gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's concerning though, and I've of course I've been an advocate of not liking Spurs, and I accept that. And I don't like them. Not at all.
You're saying if they got Tony, that would be concerning?
No. I'm just saying. I hate them. I'm just saying I hate them.
Okay.
Like that's all I'm doing here. I don't like them. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and so are they still frauds, or have they just been unlucky?
Or have they been lucky? Do you mean because?
Or have they been very? Are they? Yeah, but I mean that would be frauds. Like frauds. If they've been lucky, they're frauds.
Where do I sign? I'll sign my name.
I think they've been a little unlucky. A little. The Madison injury was unlucky. The stupidity of like some of the red cards and stuff, not unlucky.
That's stupid. Yeah.
And now like they always knew Son was going to leave for the Asian Cup, so that's just on squad depth. So
I agree.
So out of the top 5, obviously Liverpool, Villa, City, Arsenal, Tottenham, right? In January being transfer window, who do you think, which of those 5 teams is this the most vital time for them? Who needs the biggest signing that's going to change their season or save their season or maintain their season?
I think it has to be Arsenal. I think it has to be. City's got enough players to fill up probably 3 lineups of a really, really good squad. Exaggerating, of course.
Kind of.
Yeah, not kind of. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Villa, I don't see them making. They know what they do. They do it well, and they're going to stick with it. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. And actually, like Villa has decent depth.
Yeah,
Like
like,
when
they have good players.
for Villa, like they're not
Right,
City,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're bringing Diaby off the bench. They're
Mhm.
bringing Zaniolo off the bench. They have
Yeah.
Tyrone Mings on the bench if they have a
Mhm.
center back problem. Like for Villa, for like a team that at this point they realistically they should come like top 6 probably.
Mhm.
I think they have the depth to do that.
I think they're fine.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's any amount like they don't have the money to be able to spend in January to like make themselves title favorites, but
Yeah.
they have what they need to be top 6, I think.
Yeah. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if someone just magically went to City and like someone of some name of some sort. I wouldn't be surprised. Not even talk about Spurs. I don't know what they need.
I would say, for me, I would say it's most important for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think they need something. I think they need a goal scorer, someone that's just going to bang in goals to see them through what they need, especially as we talked about earlier with Champions League as well. In order to find both competitions, you need someone that's just going to put goals away, regardless of how well they play each game, just like a Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
He can do nothing for 90 minutes, but he needs 10 seconds to score one goal, and that's it. I feel like they need somebody like that. Is there people out there? There are. So it's very exciting to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks.
Yeah, no, for real. And we'll see what Chelsea does. Honestly, I mean, they're signing someone. I don't know if it's the smartest financial move, but
I think you have to sell 4 players before you can sign someone.
Well, that's what the rumors are. The rumors are that they're about to just offset all these academy boys like Chalobah. I think Conor Gallagher's like I think Spurs are talking with him. Like, but that's all profit. That's all profit. Like
That's a crazy transfer, by the way.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
he's like leading the league and like,
and he's wearing the armband.
He's wearing the armband. He is wearing the arm, which is beyond me. Like I don't know, but I've rated Connor this year. I think he's done some really stupid Conor Gallagher things. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, let's be honest.
Man knows his role.
He's a Palace player though. Like,
oh yeah,
he if Palace still had him, they'd be such a better team.
They'd be a better team.
And he like shines more. He's had really good games at Chelsea, but I just don't know if he can like become a consistent like star at Chelsea.
He's not the guy, you know. Yeah. He knows his role. He freaking puts in a tackle, probably will run more than any other player on the pitch. But at the end of the day, his name is Conor Gallagher. That's unfortunate for him.
Does that make him Mason Mount 2.0?
I don't know. After Mason not playing this year, it's kind of a bum in my eyes. No offense, Logan.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really hope that he somehow gets healthy and is like there's a player in there somewhere because I haven't seen it yet.
I hope he just wakes up one day and is like, man, I just miss London. I think, and he'll come right back to us for half the price. Half the price. Nah, that won't happen. But
well, speaking of United, we haven't touched on them much. Logan, what do they need to do?
Just be consistent. I mean, we haven't had a pod. There's been 2 games since we had a pod. That amazing game against Villa where they honestly they played pretty well. And then just a terrible game against
Forest.
Against Forest. And I think you see like watching those 2 games made some of like just the serious cracks in the squad very clear. Like against Villa, we had Rasmus up top, Rashford on the left, Garnacho on the right. And like that worked really well. And then Rasmus was sick against Forest. So we had to play Rashford central, Garnacho on the left, Anthony on the right. And it's just like a different story. And then we got to get, I don't know if it's a fitness thing or if it's a Ten Hag thing, but Kobbie Mainoo needs to play 90 minutes.
He keeps coming off, huh?
Yeah, he was playing pretty well against Forest. He came off in like I don't think he came off at halftime. I think it was like the 55th or something.
You're right.
And then they scored like 5 minutes later because McTominay didn't track a runner. It's like that man's got to play 90 minutes. Like I know McTominay has a goal in him, but when it's 0-0. Like, put McTominay on when we're losing. He doesn't need to come on like that.
No.
So I think we're still okay. And the new ownership has arrived and things are going to start happening, but we just need consistency. And I think it's partly because of the squad.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And on that theme of consistency, I feel like it's a good time to round this one off, but we're going to be staying consistent this year. 2024, new year, big year for the podcast. We're really excited to announce Papi Chulo 23, Santi, as the winner of our jersey. Congratulations.
Well done, Santi. Well done.
We will have that out to you as soon as possible. Next on the list is to look out for another big episode next week. I know we're going to have a slightly longer one. We're halfway through the season. We kind of want to do a recap. We're going to look to bring the quiz back again. I know it's been a few months without the quiz, of which I am winning, by the way. I will point that out. So look to maintain my lead, just like Liverpool there. But again, thank you guys for all your support. We're going to be here for a long time. We really enjoyed doing this. So just a big thank you to all for tuning in every single week.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe some apparel on the come up too, maybe.
Apparel, more jersey drops. Who knows what's on the horizon?
Who knows? 2024 might be the Banter Boys year. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Maybe even a TikTok here. I don't know, Birch. I don't know. But things could happen.
We need to expand maybe to TikTok. Yeah, we don't do too much on there.
Maybe.
We want to that next. Who knows?
Know.
Logan, I think you're on mute if you can hear us.
Benny and Zach are going to start dancing on TikTok, so keep an eye out.
There we go.
It might take Zach a couple months, but I'm sure he will.
He can hop.
He can hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest up, Zach. But from now, for us, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.